Why do we suffer at the hands of these politicians? Don't you know politicians work for you? You're the boss. You hire them and you fire them. Look at their campaign. You know what they do? They audition.
Yeah.
When you put them on the job, if they're not doing the job, then you fire them. Because you're in control. From the city to the state to Congress to the president. You run this.
All right, we are back here at Talk Labor again, and so happy that you're back because we got a lot of things to talk about. One of the things we do is sit back like we're sitting at maybe around the fire, relax, and just talking. That's why we call it Talk Labor. We have a lot of guests in, and that's what we do. We just talk about the things that we talk about on the street or in the bar when we get together. And the way you change things is you have to talk about it, and then you have to act on it. And that's what's going to have to happen in order to keep this country afloat. We're going to have to do those type things. But we're going to start off by taking care of what's here at home. And I want to start out tonight talking about Infinite Scholar, the Infinite Scholar program. And then I want to talk about the unions and what's going on with the unions, because there's some big stuff coming down. The lawsuit that we have, and we're going to talk about the coalition. We're going to talk about the state. We're going to talk about the federal government. And then we're going to talk about some of the things that really is important. Our history, okay? We're going to cram all that into 30 minutes, okay? Well, you with the Talk Labor Show with Jerry Williams, and I'm so grateful to be here. I got great people working with me, all my producers and videographers and stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit later, too. Infinite Scholars. Listen, if you are like most parents, you want your kid to get the greatest opportunity to better themselves in life. And the best way to do that is get a good education. And in order to do that, you have to go a little bit further than high school. You got to go to college. Now, if you don't go to college, that don't mean that the world is coming to an end, because everybody don't go to college. But if you want to try to advance yourself, you want to go to college. Mom, dad, you want to try to steer your son, your daughter in the right direction, okay? Most time when people, kids graduate, they want to go to Harvard, they want to go to Princeton. Yeah, all that's great. And they don't prepare. And when they get out there, they find out that Harvard and Princeton only take a few. And you got to have a certain quality to be able to go to those schools. So you've got a lot of schools out there like Alabama, Kentucky, some of your historical black colleges that give great education. Purdue, all those colleges we deal with here at Infinite Scholars, and we bring them in here once a year. We give out anywhere from 10 to 17, $18 million a year in scholarships. So you got to step it up. You got to get on board. We did such a wonderful job this past September. So, you want to make sure that you look at this, take a look at Infinite Scholar, and just be a part of. Bring your child down. All the schools work with us. The Teachers Union, Chicago Public Schools, Chicago Police Department, everybody joins in and participate and sponsors Infinite Scholars, Infinite Scholar Program. You can go to infinitescholar.org and you can see what I'm talking about. So, but we're going to move on from that, because I told you we're going to be talking about a lot of things today. And I think that, what's important, besides Infinite Scholar, is your livelihood and your family. And we're going to talk about family values. We're going to talk about the middle class. We're going to talk about labor unions. Sometimes we take it for granted that, I got this, and, the company gave me this. Company didn't give you anything. I had a guy that is the president of a local tell some of my guys, when I say my guys, I'm talking about pensioners, that the only reason you got health care was because CTA was just being nice to you. Honest to God, this is what this guy said at Local 241. He told our guy that you really never got that. It's not in the books anywhere for you to have health care when you leave. CTA was just being nice to you and gave you health care. This guy's got to be crazy. And that's what's going on with your unions. You know, I tell you all the time, do your due diligence before you vote. In other words, do your history. Study these people's history. See what they're about. If they're nuts, don't put them in there. It's for your, I'm okay. I'm retired. I got mine. I want to see you get yours. We fought very hard to make sure that you have a good life. When I say we, I'm talking about me, other top officers, and other officers in your union. Fought very hard to make sure that you have a good life. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. One of the things you're doing now, Locals 241 and Local 308, you're having, well, 308 is having an election. 241 just had one. And unfortunately, well, anyway, we won't talk about that. 308, you have an opportunity to pick the best qualified person for that position of president. You have 4 people running. I don't bite my tongue when I tell you, you got one that's capable of being president. That's Mr. Charles Peacock. He's been through the ringers. He knows what union is about. He has the ability to listen. He has the ability to make decisions, common sense decisions, things that actually make sense. If you got a guy in there that's not making sense to you, and you put him back in there, then shame on you. That's your thing. I can't make you do anything. I'm going to protect the pension plan. That's my goal, to protect that. But I also would like to see you guys not be taken advantage of. When I heard that you all had given up, when I say you all, I'm talking about 308 and 241, gave up your premium pay for nothing. They just took it from you. You didn't get a fight from you. I understand that they're hitting you with a $40 deduction per pay period, and they're going to hit you again in January for another $40. That's $80 from your pay period, out of your pay period. $80. Figure that out. Now, if you get a contract and you get 2% increase, you're not getting an increase. As a matter of fact, you're paying them to work for CTA if that happens. So, think about what you're doing. Think about what you're doing. Because if you don't, it's only you that can make that decision. Now, with unions, you're going to have problems coming down the road. You got problems now, but you're going to have problems coming down the road because Rauner and a bunch of other Republican governors put a lawsuit in to attack your unions. And it's going to be going before the Supreme Court sometime next year. They tried it before, and it would have passed. It would have destroyed the unions. What I mean by that is they would have said, they can't take union dues out of your check anymore. You have to go and pay it yourself. How many people are going to pay the union dues? I mean, how many people are really smart enough to pay union dues and know how valuable unions are? This is how they attack you. The Supreme Court Justice Scalia died before it got to the Supreme Court. That's the only reason it didn't pass. Now, they're going to bring it back because they got their justice in now. You guys need to be prepared for that. I talked to some of the people and I asked them, are you guys prepared? They said, we don't know anything about it, Mr. Williams. And I checked with some people from the International to find out, are you guys making these people aware? I found out they are making you aware. They've been sending information to your unions, But evidently you're not getting it. So go down and demand that they tell you what's going on. You know, if they don't tell you, then you call the international yourself. Okay? Because it's ridiculous. Union as large as the two unions there, 308 and 241, you don't have a clue as to what's going on. You got to stop that. You got to stop that yourself. Now, what I'm going to do, like I told you, I'm protecting the pension, and be happy to give you information that I have active members to help you if you want it. I'm not going to chase you down to get it. It's going to be up to you to do it. But again, what you need to do, start out by electing the right people. And the best person for that position at 308, president-wise, is Mr. Charles Peacock. So you want to work on that. If you got questions, you can call me and ask me why, and I'll tell you why. You know. But anyway, we want to go a little further than that now. And I tell you that in my book. So I want you to pick up that book. Pick up that book, Ungrateful, The Rise and Fall of Labor Unions, and it explains everything. It explains everything. Okay? What we're going to do, we're going to meet with pensioners tomorrow, I believe over on the north side. On the west side. It's going to be at our First and North Avenue. I think they have breakfast over there at Denny's. I've been asked to come over there, and we're going to speak. We're going to talk about some of the things that's going on. We have about 500 pensioners that have signed up to our coalition. We want about 5,000 because the bigger the voice, the quicker you're going to get some action. Okay? So I want you to inquire Mr. Claude Funches, Ms. Suzette Smith, Tommy Little, Benny Rogers, or Mr. Ronald Roach. Get in touch with either one of those people and see if you they can't bring you up to date as to what's going on with the coalition, because what happens is in the coalition, what you want to, information that you don't get here on this show, you're not going to get it unless you do come to the coalition meeting. Coalition is not a union, is not a CTA management. It is a coalition of retirees that will not sit on their butts and let people take their pension away from them. That's what it is. Okay? It's not something that you will sign your name to and you can't get out of. You're not in anything. So anyway, we'll talk about the coalition a little bit more. But we got a lot of things we want to talk about here. And we're going to do this. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back. And I got a lot of stuff that I want to talk to you about. We're going to take a break right about here. Okay, we're back, and you know what? I'm going to move on to another subject, but I forgot one thing. I ran into a brother that was a member of ATU Local 308. He says, "Hey Jerry, how's everything?" We had our greetings, and he says, "Look, I'm voting for Brother Peacock, but you know somebody said he's driving a Maserati." I'm like, I don't care if he's driving an airplane. If he's the best person for the job, that's who you vote for. You know, a lot of times people get out there and they lie and they tell things. I know they were saying, oh, he can't run because he owes you money, so he can't even run. That was a lie. And I remember when I was president, they said that I had his and her Bentleys and a home built up from the ground up, a $5 million home built from the ground up. That's the kind of lies that people tell. That's why I say do your history, do your due diligence. Go with the person that's best suited for the job. Okay? But what I want to do now, I want to get into some of the Trump poorly educated people. Now, this is, if it wasn't so sad, it would be funny. These guys are talking about Trump promised them that he's going to bring the coal back. You know, the coal mines. They're going to put the coal mines back. You're going to get your coal jobs back. And that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Now, President Obama, and that's the last president we had, President Obama had put a program in for coal miners. They would get training for brand new jobs. It goes to them first. Whatever training they need, they would get that training. And they would be issued those jobs, you know, because of the fact that they're losing the coal mine is going by way of the stagecoach, you know, and they're trying to tell them, you know, get these jobs. But these guys said, no, they refuse to go and get that training. There was in one area, they had set up 700 jobs for trainees to come in, get trained for the job. Only 200 and I think 30 or 40 showed up for the training. The other guys were saying that they believe in Trump. He's going to bring our jobs back. This man has lied every time he opened his mouth, and you actually believe that? That's just like saying, I'm not going to drive in a car. I'm going to stick with the stagecoach because the horse is coming back. You know, you can't be that dumb. But now I see why he said he loved his poorly educated, because, damn, I wish I could find me some suckers like that. You know, I'd be rich too, and I wouldn't show my taxes. You know, I just wouldn't show them. Just like Dunny. But what I would like to say to you guys, you see the handwriting on the wall. You put one of the biggest fools in America in office, and he showed you he's a big fool. This man could have been great if he had went in there and act presidential and did some of the things he should do. Look out for his people and the rest of America. But he didn't do that. He went in there with this in mind. I want to take everything that nigga touched, and I said nigga, everything that nigga touched, and throw it away. I don't want nothing done. I don't care how good it is. Throw it out. Healthcare, throw it out. Now, this guy just murdered, and we're going to get into that a little bit later about the guns, but the guy just murdered a bunch of people in Texas. And this man gets up on television, Trump, and says, well, the problem is, it's the guy's a mental case. And see, that's what the problem is, mental case. Now, President Obama had put in an executive order in where, you know, people that are mentally ill cannot purchase guns. The first thing that Trump did when he came into office was get rid of that, so that mentally ill people can get guns.
The president did do something about mental health related to guns. Back in February, he rolled back some Obama-era protections that would have kept guns out of the hands of the mentally ill. So he's done something completely the opposite to what his comments might suggest.
And this man was crazy as a road lizard. Beat up his wife, cracked his little boy's head, fractured his skull, and was going to kill some armed service officers because he was mad because they kicked him out of the army. But they still let him have a gun. They still let him have a gun. Well, this man said that, the mental people, this guy was mentally ill, but you were the one that actually took away the protection that the president had put in, to make sure that all of us would have an equal chance. I done got to a point where I'm almost numb to the fact that people are getting shot and killed. I'm like, that's what you want? So keep killing them. You don't care. I'm not going to care either. We tell you to try to do something about the guns, you won't do it. So, anyway, it's going to be up to you. We're going to do all we can to try to protect our people. And when I say our people, I'm talking about black, white, brown, everybody that want to be protected. The nuts and the haters and the savages, people that act like savages, I have no sympathy for you. Anytime you can stand up there and let people get murdered and killed and then say, well, it's no time to talk about guns because, see, that's not the time. Now, when this guy from Saudi Arabia or wherever he had originally came from ran over those people, unfortunately, in New York, oh, this guy was up in arms. We're going to send them back. We're going to do this and do that. Now, when this white guy takes out a gun and just starts shooting innocent people, innocent white people, oh, well, he was just mentally ill, and it's okay. I mean, yeah, he killed a few people, but that's just collateral damage. It's okay. That's the way you think. That ain't the way it is. You had an election today in Virginia, and you had an election in New Jersey for governors. Democrats killed them. So you can see what's happening. People that was running up on watch what happens now. We're going to take a break in a minute, but watch what happens. The people that's running up under Trump, kissing up under Trump, when they see that he has no pull, he's nothing but a bag of hot air, just like he went out and tried to muster wins in New Jersey and in Virginia, he couldn't do it. Now watch how the Republicans start running away from him. Watch what I tell you. They're going to start running away from him. Maybe too late, though. Maybe too late, because America is starting to wake up. Thanks to Bob Mueller. America's starting to wake up. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. And we're going to talk about some things that I think is going to be very interesting to you. We'll be right back.
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean, oh, you're so.
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
Okay, we're back. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that boy in the White House because he's nuts, and I'll be just as nutty as he is if I continue to talk about it. But I just got to say one more thing. His Mar-a-Lago place in Florida. He's talking about sending the Mexicans back. He's going to build a wall. Well, just look it up yourself. Everything I'm telling you, just look it up yourself. He just put in to have 70 visas for people to come over here and clean and wash his house and cook and do all those different things for $10 an hour, But he tell this poorly educated this, and they still believe him. Two things though. Poorly educated. It's not about the jobs. They say, well, we didn't get no jobs, and they're picking on the poor white people. It's a damn lie. These are the same old George Wallace, what's that other guy's name? David Duke people that's been lingering out there for years. They're got their guy in, but they use that old thing, we're the victim. You're not a victim. You got white privilege when you're born. So I don't want to hear that. You put this clown in there, and you got help from people that did have a little sense. Now they're starting to wake up, and you're in trouble right now. You are in trouble right now. But one thing I want to say, and then we're gonna go into another area. Papa John's Pizza, Applebee's, and I know I'm calling off some favorite places of people like Applebee's and Olive Garden and places like that, you already know how racist those people were or are. Papa John's, if you remember, he spoke out against Obama and health care. What he's gonna do, and I'm gonna do this. And Applebee's, same thing. Olive Garden, same thing. Oh, they jumped out there and they talked about him when the president put that affordable health care in. But then their stock dropped way down because we stopped buying their food. I know I did. I know a lot of other people did. And so the guy from Papa John's come back and tried to apologize and say he didn't really mean that. He was just making a statement. He was just, and, people started back slowly buying, the food again. And then he comes out with this idea talking about the young men that kneel at the national anthem. Oh man, he was just had some stringent criticisms about that. Who do they think they are? First of all, who in the hell are they? But anyway, this guy wants you to buy his pizza. Now, you do your own due diligence on Applebee's and Olive Garden and those. But Papa John, he's still Papa John. One thing he did that make me know that he's still Papa John. And you can support anybody you want. But when you support a person like Donald Trump, that tells me a lot about you. A lot about you. But understand this. When people tell you that boycotts don't work, yes it does. Yes it does. When you stop buying that product, Papa John, let him put his product over there with Donald Trump and his 32, 3, 4, 5%. Let them buy them. Because we don't have to put up with that. We do not have to put up with that. We're running a little tight today. We're gonna have a guest on next week that I know you're gonna enjoy, and we're gonna ask you to tune in because it's about the kids. We got some great kids, young kids that are doing a great job, and these kids are coming off the street. These young men are stepping up, becoming part of the music program, the bands and stuff like that. They're not running with the little gangbangers anymore, and we're here to protect them. We're working with them, and we're like a blanket around them. We're not gonna let anything happen to them. So we're gonna talk a lot about that next week. But right now, we'll take another break, and we're gonna come right back.
Why?
Why?
Why are you following me?
Why my hoodie make me look suspicious?
Why does my music make me dangerous?
Why are people that are supposed to protect me attacking me?
Why are you afraid of me? Why do you think I'm dangerous?
Why do I afraid of people who are supposed to protect me?
Why can't I make a peace sign without you labeling it a gang sign?
Why does standing your ground only work when I'm on the ground?
Why do you show this photo over this one?
Why do you only stop and frisk me?
Why do you have low expectations for me?
Why can't I run down the street without causing alarms?
Why do you think I'm a thug?
Why do you assume I'm armed?
Why can I breathe?
Why is my mom scared every time I leave the house?
Why are you targeting me?
Why am I a target?
Why?
Why? I know why.
And it has to stop.
It must stop.
Because I have dreams.
Because I can change the world.
Because I will make a difference.
Because I have a family.
Because I am strong.
Because I'm talented.
I have a voice.
I can find a cure.
I have goals.
I can lead the country.
I am determined.
I have a future.
Because I'm a scholar.
I am powerful.
I'm someone's friend.
I'm someone's brother.
I'm someone's son.
Someone loves me.
And because my life matters too.
My life matters.
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 All lives matter.
And so did theirs.
Hey, we're back. You know, I always tell you, like, when I'm talking to you, I'm going to give you things that's going on in the neighborhood. I'm going to talk to you about your background. Because if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where the hell you're going. One thing that happened to us as African American people, our memory was cut off. So we were under control. We had no direction. Because we didn't know where we came from. We knew where we came from, we would have been okay. Some of us know. I don't know about you, but I come from kings and queens back in the day. Did we get captured and yeah. But I come from kings and queens, and that's who I am. And I'm going to be like that. And I'd like you to feel that way too. Don't you ever think that you're not kings and queens. Because that's where you came from. So what I do every week is try to give you a little history on yourself. And I like to do it in all areas. And I love doing it in entertainment. So what I'm going to give you a little bit of now is back in the day. And we're going to wrap that up and we're going to let that take us home. But back in the day, we had Nat King Cole. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but if you haven't, you're a young guy. Look him up. It's important. It's just as important as looking up some other thing on Google. Nat King Cole and Billy Preston. Billy was about 10 years old when this clip was shot. But I want you to take a look at this and you see what kind of history you had and where you came from and where you are. Take a look at this clip. And we're going to see you again next week. We're going to have special guests on next week, okay? But take a look at this clip, and you see where I'm coming from. This is your history. Again, this is Talk Labor. Always, always talk about it. Don't ever be afraid to talk about it. Okay? We'll see you again next week. Watch this clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, the National Broadcasting Company takes pride in presenting the incomparable Nat King Cole.
Would you join me, Mr. Cole?
I'll be more than happy to. You started off. I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. On Blueberry Hill. When I found you.
The moon stood still on Blueberry Hill and linger until my dreams came true.
The wind in the willow played love's sweet melody, and all of those vows we made were never to be.
Though we're apart, you're part of me still, for you were my thrill on Blueberry Hill. On Blueberry Hill.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Bill Preston. I know that you have a very excellent career ahead of you, and keep up the good work and good luck, huh?
Oh, loved that duet with Billy Preston and Dad. What I loved, too, was that he's so cool. He let this 10-year-old, how old was Billy, 10, 11? He lets this kid have all the glory. and he kind of sits there on the edge and does a little something, something. But he's very aware of giving Billy the spotlight, and he's like the addendum. And I just picked that up from watching that, and it's just so sweet.